when you have responsibility in life, it turns out it's fun. It's fun in the sense that, sure, it's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress, and it can be anxious, anxiety provoking, but at the end of the day, you feel like you deserve what you have. I think a lot of us are living this life in just one step away from being super satisfied with everything that we do. And I think as I remember myself in literally quite a year and a half ago, when I was sitting around watching a lot of anime, smoking weed, just wasting a lot of my time because I didn't have a sense of direction. I remember feeling every now and then I'd have this tinge of like, why am I doing this to myself? What is it about this lifestyle that's actually intriguing and makes me excited? And I remember the points that I found really exciting was when I decided to myself on a Friday night that sure, I'll go and hang out with my friends, but I'll wake up extra early and I'll go for a walk in the woods. And then I went for that walk, and then when I came back, I was like happy. Like, sure, it wasn't super productive, but at least I was meditating, working on something in my life. And then when I came back and I made some music, I painted a little bit, and that's basically where it stopped. So my go-to every day was more or less, if I can do dental school, all the things that are involved with dental school, and I can do the going to the woods and meditating, and I can make music and I can paint, I'm a happy boy. And those things still stand today. As life has progressed, now about a year and a half later, I have a lot more on the docket because my capacity to care about what I'm trying to do has increased tremendously, to the point where my willpower now stops me from wasting time with people that otherwise I would have said okay, yes, because the opportunity cost is greater. Now, you might think to yourself, that's not the life I want. Good. But there is a life that you want. And at the end of the day, I think a lot of us are running away from that life because of excuses. Excuses that we make all of the time, which are fine, unless they're getting in the way of you being the truest you that you can be, getting in the way of opening these wonderful opportunities in life that you should have access to. There's a lot to be said for just doing the do. There's a lot to be said for saying no because you got better things to do. And I say to myself often when I am confronted with a situation where, I have the opportunity perhaps to go and play Topgolf, or go and play some card games, or go and drink, or go to a party where not a lot of people are going to be, and I think to myself, wow, how lucky am I to have something better to do than waste my time, or at least something better to do that I enjoy doing, something that's a legitimate, in my head, a logical reason to say no. And a lot of people that I follow online, mostly billionaires, basically say that you don't really need to have a reason to say no, because the reality is most people won't understand your reasons. So I say to you that if you're a leader and if you're a catalyst in society, that there's going to be tremendous amounts of time that you have to spend building yourself. And we kind of have that responsibility because most other people refuse to do that, to live a hedonistic life, to not become the truest, deepest versions of themselves, because they allow the excuses of society to sink into their bones, their soul, the comfort of, say, having money or a house to sink into them. And I say, hey man, woman, them, the worst case scenario is that we pursue something that's incredibly difficult and we fail, and then we go back to what we were doing. The funny part about that process of actually trying to pursue something is that when we are in the pursuit, and when we get to a certain point in the pursuit, there is essentially nothing within us that will allow us to go back to where we started, because we're just not the same person. And that's kind of what I'm trying to communicate in this video is, listen, like this life is not very long, and there's a lot of reasons to sit around, but there's a lot more reasons to actually pursue excellence, to actually make the very most out of our opportunities and make the very most out of our time and our life. Like without realizing that we have utter control of our situation, we're never ever going to be able to give that amount of elation, that amount of responsibility to anyone else, like our children, our families, whatever it is. If we don't find it in ourselves. So I say this to the leaders that intend to own businesses, that intend to create something that lasts beyond them, a legacy of some sort. People that know that they have intelligence and grit and motivation. That listen, like, you're gonna have to say no to things, and you're gonna have to be totally okay with it. And the only way to do that is to know that you are winning, that you're moving forward in life. Count your wins, count your blessings, and make sure. I say make sure that sure, like, being cutthroat with your time is very important, but make sure that the people in your life understand that you still love them. Not necessarily as deeply perhaps as you did when you started the journey, perhaps differently than you did when you started the journey, but still you're there for them if they need you, especially your close friends, people that matter to you. And it's going to be difficult to parse out those ideas. It's going to be difficult to parse out, hey, is spending time with this person better than spending time with that person? That's always it's an emotional call, really. But I've gotten to the point, and I think I'm very happy about this. I've gotten to the point that I actually genuinely enjoy putting in the work, because it gives me substance. It gives me a reason to wake up in the morning. It gives me excitement for the future. It gives me limitless opportunities and tremendous faith in myself that I can get some of those things in life that I've dreamt of, or that perhaps most of the people in society assume that there's no way ever that they'll get that. It's a mindset change, really. It's just a little step, a little pursuit, something that I think every single one of us wants to do to some capacity, and we make up a lot of excuses. So get rid of the excuses. Like, just get rid of them, and just be ruthless in your pursuit of excellence. And there's no one in this world that can stop you, regardless of what position you're in life. So I hope you find this message exciting and uplifting. I hope you realize that it's not going to be easy, but I hope you also realize that an easy life isn't a good life. Just saying. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care of yourself.